One wonders, why does it take so long for trials to go to their completion? Something stunning has happened. A Missouri state US judge holds China for COVID-19, and this case was filed by the state of Missouri in 2020, and the verdict has come out now. I'm going to talk about all that in a slide deck. I request all of you to please like this video and share. Some of you may think, okay, so what if it's a small US district that has ruled? China is not going to do anything. Well, China is also probably going to respond in that way. But remember, viewers, this is a trickle that could go into a flood. Why did Biden pardon Fauci? That too from 2014. 2014. So there are a lot of implications of that pardon and that date. So when you see this video, you'll get an idea about why such things were done before Biden demitted office. I'm going to share with you the slide deck now. Here we go. US judge holds China liable for COVID-19 cover-up. See, this is not the origin of COVID-19. It is something to do with COVID-19 cover-up. What happened there? Judge Stephen Limbaugh of the US District Court for the Eastern District of Missouri has ruled that China is liable for covering up the pandemic. China was also held responsible for the monopolistic actions in hoarding personal protective equipment like the face mask, for example. And look at the damages, a whopping $24 billion. $24 billion. And the ruling has stated that China's hoarding of PPE and misinformation about COVID-19 has led to severe economic damage to Missouri. See, one state, one district judgment may not mean much, and China might be able to say, scoff at it and go away. But if this thing repeats itself in many more states, then I think China is in for a world of hurt. In 2020, the state of Missouri sued China, specifically targeting the Chinese government, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, believed to be the pandemic's epicenter, and other Chinese entities. The lawsuit alleged that China caused and worsened COVID-19 pandemic by blocking the production, purchase, and export of PPE, nationalizing US factories producing PPE, and hoarding protective equipment intended for US sales. So this part is damning, because clearly the state of Missouri has, or Missouri, some people say, has proved beyond doubt that China tried to block the production, purchase, and export of PPE and nationalized US factories. This is something that the US will be able to prove. Imagine if more states start joining this one. This is going to be a huge deal for China. The judge ruled that China violated state and federal anti-monopoly laws, resulting in $122 million in additional PPE costs for Missouri and over $8 billion in lost tax revenue due to pandemic-related economic slowdowns. Attorney General Andrew Bailey hailed the ruling as a landmark victory in holding China accountable. Andrew Bailey vowed to seize Chinese-owned assets in Missouri, including farmland, to collect the $24 billion penalty. See, this is the other interesting thing. China has been buying up land across the United States. Now, that land could be confiscated by a state in lieu of the fines levied. See how this is going? People may say, oh, wait a minute, that's not $24 billion worth. Whatever it is, the thing about, when you are suing another country, there are other things also. The Chinese government can appeal this verdict and maybe take it all the way up to International Court of Justice in Hague, and that might take a few more years. But be that as it may, there are ways in which you can put a hold on a property and say that, okay, fine, if this is overturned, then we will release it. Something like that. Not sell it to somebody else, but hold on a property that could be linked back to Chinese interests. I can tell you, viewers, that my experience has been that a lot of land in the United States has been purchased by China, and mostly officials of the Chinese Communist Party who are hiding their ill-gotten wealth by purchasing land here. Some of them even have their mistresses tucked away in various places. Look, this is beyond sleaze. That's all I can tell you. I've been watching this, and I think this is something that is going to become bigger and bigger. In a tweet, Bailey directly addressed China. Hey, China, you owe Missouri $24 billion. And how was the Chinese response? A Chinese embassy spokesperson in Washington dismissed the ruling, stating that the lawsuit has no basis in fact, law, or international precedent. The spokesman further asserted that China does not and will not accept it, and warned of reciprocal countermeasures if Chinese interests are harmed. Well, let's go back and think about this for a second. You know that in one international dispute, a bunch of islands were given to, I think, Philippines, if I remember correctly, by the International Court of Justice, and China rejected it. So these people have no face. Even if they lose in a higher court, they'll still say, we are not going to do it. So actions will speak louder than words. And I'm really curious what Missouri is going to do, whether it's going to just wait it out, or it's going to act and say, okay, we are going to confiscate all this land. This belongs to the government of Missouri because of this verdict that has been passed, and they will give some time. If 6 months or 1 year, if China doesn't appeal, they might just decide to sell it and add money to the treasury. That's possible. And I can tell you, I'm sure many other attorneys general will be looking at this and saying, this is a very good way to smack China. And it also tells you what the hell was 4 years of Biden administration doing. It happened on their watch. A lot of this damage happened on their watch. They were just merrily, blissfully printing money away. And then towards the end of their regime, allowing hundreds, if not thousands, in fact millions, to come in illegally. This whole thing has been mismanaged, and I can tell you that there was a secret hand that was guiding the Biden administration. This is my conjecture, this is my assertion, this is my belief that that's what happened, and the guy probably is not even aware of what is happening now. Is that far senile. Anyway, let's get back to the COVID-19 background. The COVID-19 first cases were found in China in December 2019. The World Health Organization, another mess of an organization, declared a public health emergency of international concern in January 2020 and later classified it as a pandemic in March 2020. That 2 months, you know what happened? China allowed everybody, any foreigner in China, to fly out, carrying with them possibly the virus, and that's how it spread to the whole world. So there are all these consequential things that are also going to be coming up. Personally, I think China's goose is well and truly cooked. Economically, this is going to be a huge deal. Let's wait and see what China does, because this is just something that came down the wire and we picked it up, and we have a bunch of references. You can go through it because it was happening at a small state of Missouri. At a local level, a lot of news was written up, but only now with the verdict coming in. Actually, the case started in 2020. It took 4 years for the case to be finalized. And so far, as of February 2025, 7 million confirmed COVID-19 deaths have been recorded worldwide, making it the 5th deadliest pandemic in history. This is a significant legal step in holding China accountable for COVID-19's economic and human toll. And even though China is rejecting it, the US may attempt to enforce penalties by seizing Chinese assets, escalating tensions between the two nations. I expect that to happen. So this is on top of all the tariffs tamasha. China is going to get this between the eyes, and I don't know how they are going to walk backwards unless they can prove that it was actually the United States that sponsored the research. But they can prove that they may have sponsored the research, but the leak happened on their watch. That is what the problem that China has to explain. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar. Bye.